Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 now gonna be up between ORGE and Neolution.MRR, both of which teams are very strong, and one from Thailand, one from Malaysia, and so far the score is tight. So my prediction personally before this entire series began was 3-1. Lark unfortunately wasn't here, so he wasn't able to give us his insight, but I think now it's still fair to ask him. So Lark, what do you think?
I think that ORGE, I think they got their groove back in the second game as compared to that first game, and I think now because of that he should be able to, I mean not he, they should be able to, probably win the next one and maybe even the final after. I'm gonna go with ORGE is gonna win this 3-1. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 3-1. That's what I thought first, but you just had to steal it away from me. And okay, I mean it's pretty good and cool and stuff like that. So in general, a lot of work happening here. I'm thinking that Orange Sports this time around gonna run their different strategy altogether. And before we go too much or too deep into that, I think that we have a game to cast, so it's gonna be up on schedule here. Tempest, Sandrift, Pestilence, and Ophelia are gonna be banned out first. But look at that, first pick Warbeast. They finally decided to snatch that away from MRR.
Yeah, they know that MR's Warbeast was pretty strong in the first game. Second game it didn't really take flight, so it's not that much of an issue. But I guess having that Warbeast on your own team is of course a better choice. You can't go wrong with having a Warbeast in your team. He just excels in terms of the damage. There is no Tempest to work with, but there is always a Keeper for. So if they want to go for more of the minion aggression, they can always go with the Warbeast minions as well to keep your dogs and just keep buffing them up with the battle cry. That's another way to push down towers really quickly if they want to. Not sure if Warbeast is going to be played by Siffer. I think Siffer usually does play that Warbeast because he's very, very good in that role. Unless they want to give it a WTF and give Siffer another offlane hero. Really depends on what the draft is going to be. It's not. Usually you always see that Warbeast is going to be in that offlane, but time and time again, sometimes we do see him being played by the carries, especially over in international hunt scene where we see Team Stay Green running. I think Chessie is the one that kind of like runs the war base over there. So I'm not sure what they're gonna go for in this game, but very excited to see what the next couple of picks are gonna be.
Yep, exactly, and that's it. We have interesting game here because Bubbles again gonna be picked by Team Legion and MR. Man, they still have not banned out the Bubbles yet. They decided to ban both Sandrift and Ophelia, knowing that Ophelia was the one that dealt the damage, and Sandrift, I think it's really trauma from previous fights that they keep deciding to ban Sandrift over and over again.
Yeah, I mean Sandreef is just the hero that's so annoying. It's like the most annoying piece of shit hero in this game right now because of the early gank potential. They're gonna actually go with Hag and Master of Arms, so they have decent anti-push there coming out already. That will work well against the War Beasts and as well as Keeper of the Forest if they go for that. Scout is still in the pool. I would like to see that being picked up. That's another hero that's just underrated for longest time. Bushwhack. Wow, actually Bushwhack gets picked up by WTF. So we're gonna see some bushwhacking action today.
Yep, it is gonna be beating around the bush, like we always say. There we go. Bushwhack, Bubbles, Warbeast, all three members nicely secured there on Legion team. Bushwhack, a lot of extra damage as well. And recently in the Southeast Asian scene, a lot of teams are picking Bushwhack. Some of them really work out very well, some of them not so much. I think generally they just favor the increased mobility on a carry. That is range as well. So previously they got Dark Lady that can nicely jump into fight with I think charging strike. But Bushwhack has got sidestep, and sidestep is a lot more effective because of avoiding stunts and skills like that. And that is one of the heroes that I think a good carry should be able to play as well. But the problem in Bushwhack is that it's a very squishy hero, so it needs a lot of farm, needs a lot of items, and you need the space to get those items. And in this kind of a game, you have a Warbeast and Bubbles nicely provide the space that Bushwhack needs. So it's not too bad, unless of course both of them lose their lane respectively.
Yep, and you see the quick response in the Keeper. I really love that pickup. That's so good against the War Beast as well as the Bushwhack and even the Bubbles. If Bubbles is not able to take cover when he uses the root, but Hag on top of Keeper of the Force is always a good combination because you have push potential as well as you have the huge team fight wombo combo there when you keep a root everyone in place and Hag just blasts your face into hell and there's a lot of other things that they can always go for as well. They have the Master of Arms already, so they have good lockdown and team fight there. Because if on top of a root with an acid bomb, it does a shit ton of damage because of the minus armor, and of course bat blast from the Hag.
Yeah, basically you have the lockdown and the burst coming from Hack and Keeper there. But that being said, moving forward, we're thinking a little bit extra into this stuff here. And I'm saying that Legion side, they are going for dual support. They don't have the keeper. Ophelia was being banned out. I don't see them playing anything else. Tempest, they banned out themselves. So I would not want to see Suri playing the Parasite. So for sure, it's going to be dual support. This is the kind of strategy that I think Orange Esports should have run right from the start, right off the bat. Double carry, dual support, increase aggression, and early game pushes. A lot of extra work can be done on this original winning recipe for Orange Esports.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want to make sure that you get good aggression, so that, and especially the heroes that you pick has to be those kind of heroes that can translate nicely from early, mid to late, because you don't want to get heroes like I mean, it was very risky play in the earlier game when they drafted the Deadwood. Of course, it did work out in the end because they had like Magmas, they had like a lot of stuns, they had Magmas, they had other things on top of that, the massive arms and all that kind of jazz. So it wasn't that bad for them. But of course, it's very risky to always play a game where you just thrive in the early to mid stages of the game without a hard carry at the later stages. So I'm not sure what they're gonna decide to choose over here. There's a lot of supports in the pool that they can go for. I actually want to see like an empath bushwhack combination. I think that would be pretty sick in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Empath Bushwhack very viable as well. Empath is a pretty good kind of hero. But we have a Frog Prince today, Polywop Priest, man. And we could either have frog legs for dinner, or he could really be really pushing this lane a lot more. I like Polywop Priest for a wide variety of reasons, because he is very aggressive in the early game. You can look at very good pushing strat as well. With the War Beast, yeah, you can also have better cry, and that in general is going to help the whole team push better as well. You got Bubbles, pretty good pushing strat. So Polywop Priest actually nicely ties in that situation, and with Tongue Tied as well as a Morph, he's ultimately very good. But look at that, so Stealer to just top it up on Wretched Hack, and the lockdown coming from the keeper. It is going to be really devastating if the Soul Burst is just nicely unleashed upon the root from the keeper, and we have a Babael to clean it up. It is really going to be bad for Team Legion, but I'm thinking the MR got a little bit greedy with this picture.
Yeah, it is very greedy. I mean, there's a lot of farm needed already by Soul and Hag, and Soul Stealer is just one of the heroes that if he doesn't snowball, it's going to be so difficult for him in the later stages of this game, and especially with the fact that Legion team has so much gank potential from Poly and the Bubbles. War Beast, of course, can scout with the Wolves. Bushwhack is highly mobile, and once he gets items, he can start dishing out a lot of damage. That could be an issue as well. I think that it's, I mean, like, I do believe this is gonna be a Polywog Priest that is more or less in that secondary support role. Oh god, they're bringing out the strategy again. We saw this
Mm-hmm.
last time. They kind of like ran. If I'm not mistaken, it was like Pandemonium, Andromeda. Wait, was it Andromeda or was it Fade? I can't remember. I
It
think
was Fade.
I think yeah, they had like a shit ton of stunners, like 3 stunners that would constantly roam across the map, being played by Cipher and this double support. So I guess they gotta go for a more gankish route again. It can work to some extent, but I think Jersey is probably gonna, screw up the combo quite a bit, because just Jersey being Jersey is one of those cheesy niche picks.
Yeah, and in general, it is pretty questionable right now, because we have Warbis on Sui instead of Pandemonium. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is gonna be the standard draft, and it's gonna be a Dragon Sui this game. Previously he played as the Polar Bear, and that was hilarious. Look at that. There was a lot of extra gank previously, and this is another winning recipe for Orange Esports. But yep, there we go. Game 3, Orange Esports MRR. The draft has been completed here, and it looks to be really good. That said, I am just keen to see what both sides can really offer us in this game here. So joining you today is Babael and Lark, that will be your casters to just cast this game. And we have on Legion side Orange Esports from Malaysia. Orange Esports, we have Frog Prince, Mr. Ghost. We also got Kiddo onto the Bubbles that annihilated nearly in the previous game. And we
Yeah.
also got WTF playing as the Bushwhack Japanese Jamaican Samurai, somewhat mixed blood there. And we also got Cipher playing as the War Beast. That would be a Suicide Lane War Beast as well. And last but not least, we have Shui playing as the Dragon Pandemonium. Previously, he did very well in the Ophelia, and that was just now the game 2. And in the last cycle, I think he played as the Pandemonium. That was really good as well. So that is a a lot of testimony here that Orange Esports is looking very good with this lineup. But that's it, MR. They got a recipe of their own, and they're just looking to make this game work somehow. ColorX drafted there from Neolution.MRR, and we have him playing as the Keeper of the Forest. We also got Bomber's Ball playing as DMOA. And Chitterman reprising a role in the mid, but I think it's going to be a Russia deck this time around. DQ playing as the carrier. That's going to be a Soul Stealer. And last but not least, we got a little bit of the defensive route here. 07TV playing as the Gerard Zaire. So Gerard Zaire is a very strong hero in general. Will be able to provide good protective charm, and we want to see the King of the Legion protect the Hellbourne base now.
King of Legion protect our base. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that needs to come into fruition for both these teams. The first off, like Orange Esports, they need to make sure that they utilize their three gankish heroes. That's the Panda, the Poly, and the bubbles as well. They need to roam across the map really, really early in this game if they want to, get some traction for War Piece as well as the Bushwhack that's on WTF. Hellburn team, they need to make sure that they secure as much farm as possible for a Soul Stealer and make sure that it doesn't die at the early start of the game because it's so important and imperative that Soul Stealer does not get insta-gibbed at the start of the game because he needs to snowball, he needs to get the souls up. As soon as he gets the souls up, he's going to be a wrecking force in my opinion. He's going to come in just like a wrecking ball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Miley.
Yeah, exactly.
But where's the Turking in this one?
I don't know. I have no clue.
But that being said, man, it's a pretty big game here, and game 3 out of 5. We have both sides winning one game each already, and I mean it is a pretty good situation for any team to be in. You can still win this game, but the next game, rather this game, is going to be the prize pool here. If you win it, you're more likely to win the next game as well. I don't see it going to a 5, but if it does, it is going to be really clutch, and that's only going to be a match between equals. But in this kind of situation, I think MRR, they have learned a lot, yes, but seeing this draft here, I think there's still a lot more to be learned.
Yeah, this draft it's actually kind of okay because there's decent synergy with Jarzai and Soul Stealer. Like Soul Stealer can get that early portal key and not worry too much about the shrunken head. Wretched Hag is just so good with the Bad Blast on top of Keeper. They have, I mean, they're squishies, but they have the defensive mechanism from Master of Arms with the defensive Master's Call, so that's another good thing as well. Keeper Road on top of Acid Bomb on top of like auto attacks from Soul Stealer and like a huge ass fart bomb, like nicely say. It's gonna deal a shit ton of damage towards this Legion team, especially if Hag gets his Bad Blast off on top of that. So they have a huge wombo combo over there. Whether or not they're gonna be able to execute it, that's another thing to talk about. So we'll just have to wait and see. I do believe that aggression from Legion team is the name of the game for them, and they definitely by all means know that. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna be setting up for a lot of ganks. You see already Polywog Priest opting to go for the tongue tied first because that's a huge amount of lockdown. That's about what I think it's about like 2.5 seconds of lockdown. So it's very very long in that sense in terms of a stun.
Oh
That
yeah.
can help in with a lot of auto attacks from Panda and whoever is gonna be with him. Here we go though.
His tongue is very long, look at that, and that's not going to be released anytime soon, but the hack is going to be fine because that is still a flush of tongues up on a wretched hack. But in general, we have a pretty interesting situation. The main reason why I say MRR still needs to learn a lot more in terms of draft things because that draft is not going to work against this draft that Orange Sport has. You need to have increased aggression. The first game that they drafted those heroes, yeah, it could work in that sense, but once you have players that need so much farm, Soul Stealer, Wretched Hack, it's not gonna really work very well. And yes, there is a lot of synergy, so it could still work. But execution-wise, I think this team is not gonna have the ability to just out aggro Orange Esports, and that's gonna be the bane here for them. But that's it. Top lane, I think it's gonna be a solo lane Pandemonium, and Sui actually going here by himself, and we have Orbis in the jungle. Wow.
Yeah, so it seems like Shui is just not gonna opt for a jungle role. Siffer's gonna be the jungle war beast, which is kind of interesting. It's not, we haven't seen. Oh, he actually gets his mana potions fucked over there. But it's been a long time since we've seen war beast in the jungle, and seeing Shui in that off lane just solo, that's gonna be very very interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job so far, pulling the creeps to this point here and getting a pretty good amount of farm off them as well. But I don't know why Soto attacking them. He may not be very used to this lane. Still, in general, we have Soul Stealer and MO in this area up against Pandemonium, man. I mean, Archer Spots, they are in this kind of a lineup. I don't think they have the best of moments because it's a solo top lane. Warbeast may actually want to rejoin his counterpart at top lane very soon. There we go. Warbeast actually going to rotate all the way up here. Or maybe not. He's just going for the pots. Yep, he's just going for the pots. That's a questionable road to go for, actually.
Yeah, because the career is like he could have actually just waited for career to reach him and then only go start farming. I think he's. Is he really? No. Okay, I thought he was actually gonna try to rotate towards the Hellburn jungle. That would be kind of insane because Keeper of the Forest is over there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to come back to this top lane. Like, they should just let him you know, farm top, let have Pandemonium just, you know, roam around, gank wherever he can. Like if he's able to set up a gank at mid against
Yep.
Jersey, look at Jersey, man. No mana already, forced to spam out his heals so much because of the aggression coming from Kiddo. Really
Yeah,
well played.
Kiddo is just auto-attacking him. But that being said, look at that. MOA now is just knocking on the Hellhounds. Hellhounds is lost one creep. Not a very big deal, but the main deal is just right now, and MOA freaks out. My god, the real deal is just here. And that being said, it's going to be attack here, and Pandemonium is going all the way back to the down south part of this map, and that's going to be a gank from a quick level 3 Pandemonium. And that's the good news about a dual support. That is a little bit flexible because they did give him a bit of the suicide level there. And I don't think Warbeast was ultimately aiming for the jungle. I think it was just to give Pandemonium a little bit extra level. That is going to pay off right now because Panda, look at him, a pump of 2 points into the cannonball. That's going to hit for a lot.
Yeah, and the fact that he has to flick on top of that, it's just gonna mean so much aggression. I think he's gonna get spotted out here by the creeps, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, there is always that ward of sight that was placed by Chidwan-X that might have spotted him earlier when he tried to go towards the jungle. I think he didn't actually run that side, so still no vision of him. But you see Chidwan-X, he knows that something's up, and he's just gonna back off over there. Not gonna be too aggressive in that sense. Pandemonium is not gonna be seen on the map, so it's gonna be a straight up tri-lane aggression against Richard Hag, which is good because it's gonna lock him down. Hag's not gonna be able to do anything. Jerry's again using the heal, so he's getting a lot of harassment himself. Look at that, already forced to eat 2 bottle charges. He's gonna get even much more harassment. Kiddo's just doing so much work, but the thing is, Jersey is getting that level advantage. He's getting more creep kills in, and that's just mainly because he's a melee hero with a hatchet.
Yeah, and that's a lot of extra farm coming from Jersey. But down south we have Shui with a raid marches ready. Could be able to just catch up on the hack if there is a slight possibility of him just nicely tossing out the flick before time there. But that being said, a lot of aggression here. You can see that both of them, in fact all 3 members can knock on the tier 1 down south, and it is looking to go down very soon. The creeps come in to reinforce, and I think it's going to be done. The Dragon Monium, whatever you call it, and the Jikun Dragon, in fact, going to be pulling the creeps a little bit behind and tanking out a little bit extra damage there, just to make sure that the creeps will push down the tier 1. They want to get the tier 1 addressed, and I think it will get addressed. There we go, it goes down.
Yep, really well played there by him. Gonna pop the health potion, which is most probably what he's gonna do. Obviously, they can even continue pushing tier 2, and now this puts MR in a really sticky situation because they're kind of like, okay, what do we do now? Do we keep farming in our lanes, or should we address this right now? Because it's starting to look a little bit scary.
Oh, so close. Pandemonium with the flick. If he casted that before, that Flash of Darkness would have definitely been able to just pull the heck all the way back here. And that would be a little bit of a price kind of a catch there. But there we go. The mob's going to be used. Cannonball first, and it seems like tongue-tied as well. Heck, a lot of trouble. Chidwan-X is actually going down. But look at that. Tongue got extended by the flick. That is really cute. We have a pretty interesting situation because WTF picks up the Bloodlust. That's going to mean that carry will have a lot of items so early on. And this is why I prefer the dual support, dual carry route that ORGE.esports always runs. Because look at the way they execute it. It's always quick ganks down south, bottom lane, tier 1 address. They want to push tier 2 as well. And tier 2 already down to 50% health. This is really insane gaming from ORGE.esports. But now MR are going to do a little bit of stuff on their own and trying to gang the lane up north here. It's going to be a charge from behind, and Warbeast takes a little bit too much beating for his liking, and the last Demon Head is going to pick him up there. 3Q picks up the kill. Really nice to see that. And at the mid lane, Jersey already level 6, but he is now going to get boxed up by Kiddo as the bubbles. Bubbles on Kiddo is just really insane. You don't want to give Kiddo the bubbles. It becomes Kiddos.
What, kiddos? What the hell? Yeah, but I think that's probably the main thing that's keeping Legion team in this, because the fact that middle is winning, because at the same time, like, top is winning for Hellburn side, and that's a soul steal who's gonna snowball really hard on top of a keeper who has that huge amount of lockdown. But at the same time, bottom lane's getting crushed so hard by this tri-lane aggression. Look at Hag, man. Tier 2 is gonna go down already, and I think Legion Hellburn team is gonna do the same thing at the top.
Yep, and top lane aggression still gonna be kept up here. I think that Pandemonium can nicely plot if he wants to, but Pandemonium doesn't have a homecoming stone yet. And I think top lane now we got Keeper, we got Soul Stealer, you also got Warbeast with Battle Cry. That's gonna deal a lot of damage. And look at the Warbeast now with the roots gonna be used. It seems like Ziffer is gonna be down here. He doesn't have enough for a quick metamorphosis because he's only level 3. So that's it. I think he could completely shut down in his suicide lane. And level 7 Soul Stealers, a very strong Soul Stealer in general. But now mid lane gang happening quickly. It seems like Jersey a little bit of trouble there. And Bubble's not gonna opt for a quick pot in, but Jikun Dragon dealing a lot of extra harassment there. Jersey is gonna be safe, but top lane tier 2 gets addressed. So it's matching aggression for aggression. So MR is playing this correctly, but because of the draft there, I don't see how they are really gonna be effective because they have the interesting minions coming up from both, I say from the Keeper of Forest, but that alone I don't think it's going to be enough for a push. You have the Acid Bomb, that's going to be used pretty effectively as well. Overcharge shot onto Jikun Dragon right now. Pandemonium gonna nicely cannonball away to safety. It's going to be okay, but here comes Bubbles, and when Bubbles comes by, it's going to be a different story altogether. There we go, the Sign's going to be used soon, I think. But no, it seems like the Demon Hand's going to be used there, and a great death turns it is, but the Polywalk Priest from behind. Polywalk Priest just running there, mopping out the Keeper. Keeper a lot of trouble, Keeper opting to die in favor as compared to Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer just dancing about behind. He's going to show himself, but it seems like Pandemonium going down first, and it seems like Bubbles also going to be fine. And he was just so close to death. Demon Hand nearly took his life, but a quick take cover, make sure that he was going to be fine. And it seems like Polywalk Priest a little bit drunk there because he realized that there is a Jerezai from behind and there's no way he could really run out there, so he decides to go and deal a little bit extra damage on the Soul Stealer, but Soul Stealer will survive, and that's a double tap for DQ playing as the Soul Stealer.
Yeah, that actually MR is the one that's really in the favorites in this game right now, because they, just judging from how that entire engagement happened, that was actually very, very good for them, because now they, at the same time, they also get 2 tier 2s. It wasn't denied. They got a lot of kills out of that, and now Hag is having free farm on bottom lane, and he's picked up on a Steam Boots already. So that entire early game aggression on Hag at the bottom lane is now completely deemed useless, because he's not going to continue farming because there's no more aggression there. They're going to try to put aggression in tier 1, but Hellborn by all means can definitely defend this, because they have the Hag Bat Blast, they have the Keeper's Root, they have superior team fight, they even have Soul Stealer's goddamn bloody Soul Burst, which is going to probably
doesn't
get...
have a point in, by the way.
Yeah, he's going to get it at level 9, so they don't really need to worry about that too much. And he actually went to and opted for the Whispering Helm first, because he wants to farm really, really quickly so that he doesn't give space for Legion team to, you know, fight back at all.
Yep, for sure, and Legion team needs to find a space themselves. That's why you have dual support, dual carry. But look at War Beast, man. Not a good job at all. Level 5 only. Now gonna have to go to the NC to farm. And that's one of the main problem here for this drop here, is that they focus too heavily on the bottom lane gang, and instead didn't address that the Soul Stealer. I figured that they always have the option of deciding whether to gang on the Soul Stealer or the Retro Deck, but they decided that Hack is going to be a lot more troublesome to gank, as in to deal with in the early stage. That's why they decided to go for the Hack kill. But now, DQ already level 9, looking to be very strong. You don't want to face off with a Soul Stealer that's got 4 points in Demon Hand and 1 point in Soul Burst. It's just going to deal a lot of damage. If he hits level 11 soon, that's gonna be 2 point Soul Burst. But look at that! Flick gonna be up first, Cannonball soon, and Soul Stealer, a very squishy hero in general, looking to die very quickly. Silence as well, and Calflip's gonna pick up the kill. So Kira goes down, but on the flip side, Bomb Rusher Paul as well will go down to WTF effort with Mr. Ghost. Mr. Ghost will take up the kill. So in general, they can still control Soul Stealer, which is why they decided to gang Hack first. But it's good because orange.esports, like you mentioned, they need to keep up the aggression, and the aggression now is on Soul Stealer instead.
Yep, slow down the Soul Stealer because he's farming up way too much in my opinion. And the thing is, like, Soul Stealer is at 500 GPM already, man. That's 10 minutes in this game, so it's a good thing they addressed him. But at the same time, he's just gonna come back top and continue farming. And now he has the support of Master of Arms. So again, it's still kind of favoring MR right now in this kind of situation. They did kind of throw away a bit of a lead over there by feeding the kill on Bomb Rusher Paul as well as Doikyo. Doikyo, unfortunately, he didn't have wards at the top, and he just got spotted out by Panda and can't really do much because he's a Soul Stealer. He has no escape mechanism, and that kind of screwed him in the ass. But now top lane though, Master of Arms, he needs to be careful himself because here comes the aggression again.
Yeah, but there's a ward of sight right now, so I think he knows what's going on here. There's a Bubbles in his vicinity, but he doesn't know from behind. There's a Jikun Dragon. You gotta be really careful. The flick is gonna be used first, and following which a cannonball stun. No, wait, straight. It's a face smash straight to the face, and down goes MOA. Here comes the Hack. Here comes also Keeper. Hack's gonna try and give chase to Pandemonium. Pandemonium level 6 without any mana for anything at all. I think it's gonna be a lot of trouble, but here comes also that Polywalk Priest is gonna be in his vicinity. Enough for a skill, but it seems like Hack's gonna pick up the kill on Pandemonium first, and Bubbles now gonna try to pick up the kill on Hack. I think it overextended a little bit, but the morph is the tongue tie not very effective, and it seems like Bubbles now gonna try and run away, but will not be very successful because there's no further backup there. A little bit of miscomm in general. Not really sure what happened there, but they shouldn't have turned around to try and pick up the Hack. It was just really impossible.
Yeah, that was really well played by MR again. Too much overextension happening now from ORGE. I'm not sure what they're doing right now. Soul Stealer is gonna be such a force to be reckoned with. Look at that, man. Just from the support of Jerezai, he's crushing Bushwhack mid lane. Oh, he's actually taking a lot of arrest himself. Where is the Demon Hands, bro? Come on, just throw that out. He already used a sidestep. They've done a decent amount of damage already to the defense tower at the mid. They can most probably take that later on. Since they already did enough chip damage. Jerezai's just gonna stack this up. Probably gonna help out the Soul Stealer to continue farming. on that Ancients later. I would like to see HoNTourSEA at least pick up on a creep so that he can actually stack that himself, not have to worry about his teammates constantly going there to actually pull that out. You look at Warbeast though, Warbeast is going for the straight up shrunken head because he knows that there's going to be early game aggression, so he wants to get that as soon as possible to be able to take team fights rather than go for more of the farming route with the Abyssal Skull.
Yeah, for sure. But in general, you have a pretty questionable spot there just now in a kind of a gank. And now the good news is that Keeper doesn't have the root because he used it earlier. But
Oh.
in general, oh, there we go. Jikun Dragon 1-on-1 against the Keeper, but there's the Soul Slither behind, so that's not gonna be fair. And he builds out really instantaneously. Face Smash was also on cooldown, just about 10 seconds now before he can use it. But that is not gonna be soon. And that's it. Well, Legion team in the previous fight, they didn't have the Polywar Priest ultimate there, so that is the Voodoo Wards, and he doesn't have that to fight with the Keeper, which is one of the main reasons why they should have picked the team fight there. But now it seems like mid lane gang happening quickly, nice MOA there with a good stun, but it seems like WTF is going to be fine. A quick runaway energizer being used as well, so at least he saves in quick tech step, and that was the main reason why the Demon Hand didn't connect as well. And now Hellbound team will knock off the tier on the mid lane instead of the Legion team, and they are playing it really aggressively. I mean, HoNTourSEA doesn't have enough items at all to speak of, and only a level 10 HoNTourSEA with a Whispering Helm. So he does have life still, he has hits for a shit ton of damage, but he can be bursted down very quickly as well. And questionable as to why the Voodoo Wards was being used, but it will buy them some time and it will defend his tier 2 as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the next item is gonna be for HoNTourSEA. He has 3.2k saved up. I think he's gonna go for his unconventional build of always that Assassin Shroud. Oh, here we go.
Down south, Pandemonium, a little bit of trouble right now. Pandemonium is looking to just nicely find a sweet spot to just cannonball away. But it's cute MR didn't realize he was there. And now that they do, they're trying to gang him as well. The root is up, and root's going to be used quickly. Is there going to be a cannonball? I don't think so. He will get disabled in that kind of a situation, so he will go down. But then, in return, Cypher is going to be fine. Cypher now just nicely potting away. And the tier 1 down south will get addressed. One of the main reasons also previously why the top gang wasn't very good was that because remember, MR knocked off both tier 1 and tier 2 at the top lane, so that's going to limit the reinforcements coming in from Legion side, and that's a pretty good news for them at all. So that being said, they're getting a little bit pushed out right now, and MOA and the mid lane holding his spot up against WTF will have a pretty good time, but WTF's farm is only at about 400 plus GPM in, whereas HoNTourSEA 505, and that's going to be a lot of fine for a Thai friend there, and they could be pretty happy about 5s, but MOA is going to be fine, and WTF don't overextend there. Oh wait, actually the pot's going to be cancelled. Oh, but and killer from behind, sorry, killer from behind. And look at that, bubbles, man. Calfield's gonna be on target, and the silence picks up a kill so sneaky, man, with the regeneration. And that's gonna be like free kill, and not a single cost of mana was used that day.
Yeah, just unfortunate place there. HoNTourSEA was the one that kind of backed him up, that's why he couldn't do much. Oh, here comes
that bad blast! Is gonna connect at the very end. As Kiddo's gonna take the fall, but that's Ankyl's gonna turn into a wolf to run away quickly. Bubble's still gonna pursue a little bit on Bushwhack with the Lassie there, but nothing concrete is gonna be done. And there we go, 7-8, 2k goalie for MRR. Somehow they're just on top. Execution very perfect for them.
Yeah, they got tier 1 bot. I actually would have liked to see them continue aggressing on the tier 2 bottom, but they saw mid lane was getting, you know, really heavily aggressed on, so they decided to, you know, do the push of their own on tier 2, and they're gonna get this. Top though, the tier 2 does go down in favor of Legion team, but they get the middle lane tier 2, which is, in my opinion, kind of more important in that sense. And you look at HoNTourSEA, straight up Dancing Blade. Holy shit! What is this item build coming up from?
Just DQ one thing to just dance in the moonlight, but we have a Dancing Blade, guys, and that's HoNTourSEA dealing 200 damage at just 15 minutes into this game. There's approximately nothing that can deal that kind of a damage so far as well. And if you look at WTF, only 169, and yes, he has got a Firebrand. He should be looking at Jupiter's Bane real soon because there is a Keeper on help on team. But DQ, he doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Yeah, he has got a lot of lockdown to worry about, the count fail, etc. But I guess he wanted to go for a little bit more extra damage that might actually not work out here. But he doesn't have the Shrunken Head. Of course, he could have gone for Shrunken Head straight up. That would have been materialized right now with just about 3.9k cost in general. But he decides to go for the Dancing Blade. That's going to mean a lot of aggression. I think his main job is to shut down the Bushwhack, and if he does so successfully, the rest of his team should win. Warbeast is still not a threat right now in this game, and that's pretty good news for him at least. But that's it, mid lane gang on 07 TV, and down goes Jarzai.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do much against the wards as well as the poly, you know, lockdown. They're gonna get Kong, but of course Hellborn team is in the vicinity to kind of take this out. They know that wards is down, but they can't really take the bubbles with double damage. And Okay, here we go.
Yep, that's gonna be used. It seems like they will know the keeper is gonna be in the vicinity. He doesn't have the chance to put a root, and there goes keeper. A lot of trouble. Keeper, no root today. Keeper goes down, and that makes that careful. Great being used there as well. And so the soul burst doesn't go down because the face man just slapped in there, and he just got slapped in the face. Goes down really quickly as well. And Ratchet gonna be saved with a protective charm, or so you think. But the damage from the Bushwhack is physical, and you don't want to fight Bushwhack right now. But Bushwhack is a little bit far from knocking off that hack off the map. And right now, 10-8. They also have a token, and it's a great turn of events for Team Legion. I'm not sure really why Hellbound team wants to take the team fight. Yes, I know you have pretty good stuff there. You have okay, that's a really off shot stuff by Babael, but you have Wretched Hack, great Bat Blast skill. You have also the root, great lockdown, but Keeper waited too long to put forth the root, and that just spoiled the whole combo there. And also the silence from Bubbles, you have to always remember about stuff like that as well. And you have Pandemonium as well. So at the moment Keeper doesn't have the root, you should just fail up. But Bubbles with the quick cap fill, just make sure that that's not possible. So Kiddo, again, big gameplay by him.
Yeah, you know what was funny is that Keeper, he got dust. Yeah, like you said, dusted. He just went in and it was like, guys, I'm gonna use root now, even though I got dusted, but got instantly turned into a little frog there by Polywog Priest. So that was really funny to see. But actually, that hurt MRR a lot. They got token. They lost a lot of hero kills over there. And now that means there's a shrunken hit on Warbeast, so Warbeast is now so much more scarier in this kind of situation. I don't know about that dancing blade pickup, man. He could have just gone for more, I don't know, damage items, even like a Gym Meter Spin would be fine.
Well, even a portal key would have helped in that kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly, even like a portal key, because you have Jersey's protective charm. They don't even have it, the Defusal Bait. Just jump in and, you know, use your ultimate and do a shit ton of damage, so it's kind of unfortunate in that kind of sense. But of course, you have to remember that Pandemonium, his ulti does go through that, what do you call this, the armor coming out from Jersey over there, the protective charm. So I guess they were just kind of worried about that. And now Pandemonium's even that much more scarier because he has that portal key now.
Yep, for sure. And that's it. Top lane, it seems like there is going to be a gang on the way, but it will be okay because Hack's going to have the right mind, the presence of mind to nicely just flash away, and that's pretty good news as well. 10-8 so far, 1k goal lead for Team Legion is slowly eroding away, and we, for the first time, will see the double carry, double support strat being broken by MRR. It's pretty good stuff that they're doing here so far. And Invisible, all three of them actually going to be there, but they don't know there's a Hellhound in the vicinity, so Team Legion knows what's happening there, and they're not going to push too much forward because they know exactly that Hellbound team is coming prepared to the top lane.
Yep, the Hellhounds, so good. Such a good usage of it. I mean, it's so annoying to have Hellhounds, I mean, to go against Hellhounds because they always spot you out, even when you're trying to set up for a gank. You saw Keeper there invising all his teammates, unfortunately couldn't get anything done out of that. And I think Jersey is probably in a tight spot right now.
Yep, Jersey, in fact, it's gonna get ganked really quickly, but a quick protective charm will be able to save him nicely from the increased aggression from both Bubbles as well as the Polywog Priest. In fact, the Voodoo Wall is gonna be milk money here for all of them, and it will be nicely addressed that it will all go down to translate to extra gold for Team Hellbound, and that will erode a little bit extra lead that Team Legion has, but don't forget that now Hellbound is in a pretty good standing. We have Dancing Blade on DQ. Yes, it's not a lot, but he does have another 2.4k gold in the bank. If it's going to translate to a quick wing bow, it could prove to be a little bit too much for Team Legion to deal with, but I'm looking forward for the lockdown there. And you also got Hack that's got practically nothing with the blast off. It could be a Null Stone, it could be a Grimoire of Power, it could be anything, but Hack needs the items as soon as she can get it.
Yeah, Hack really needs. Oh no.
Yep, MOA gonna die quickly there. So the same spot gets ganked twice, but they are still not rewarding that. And it's pretty questionable as to why MR decides to feed off the kill. They definitely need to provide security. You need to have padlocks on your jungle right now. You need to increase the gate. You need to hire 2 or 3 bodyguards because the Legion team is just wanting to rape the jungle over and over again.
Yeah, and raping is the name of the game for them. I mean, they're doing that well. You look at Bushwhack, he actually went for the Dawnbringer straight up, so he's gonna have the ability to quickly attack you down, more movement speed, more attack speed, that lingering effect from that DOT damage. They're gonna try to defend this, here we go.
Oh, Milan, it's not gonna get denied. WTF gets the tower kill, and he will also have the extra gold to work with. That's it, here comes Bubbles! Quick silence, but doesn't hit a truck, and we'll have to back away. That's it, WTF with a little bit extra slow on Jersey. Jersey is going to take a big thing there, but he is going to be fine. That's a top lane Warbeast split push. So ORGE.esports, the fallback strategy here is to have the extra push potential, but hold that top because it seems like Keeper is facing a little bit of trouble of his own there. He should be able to just go invisible, fine. But is that going to be a dust? That's the question. I don't see a dust. Yeah, but he still goes down. Look at that. Bushwhack damage. Really good. But there's also a ward of breath, by the way, in case you guys don't know about that. I didn't see that previously. I think it was newly planted by Mr. Ghost. So Mr. Ghost always on ball there with a ward of breath. And it also nicely destroys the ancient spot.
Yep, it really does. And Soul Stealer, he actually now has his Springbow completed, so that's good for him. But how much of an effect is it really going to take into this game? Like, he still doesn't have much survivability. He's very, very squishy in that kind of sense. What is he going to be able to do? I'm very curious to see whether or not he's going to be able to, be able to win this team fight for them. Here we go.
Yep, there we go. A little bit extra gang in the mid lane right now, but they don't have the war base to work with them, and it seems like Bushwhack takes too much of a beating. Bushwhack actually has to fall back right now. He does have the token, so he can still take a team fight if he wants to, but this is not going to be optimal for him at all. That's it, Hag, look at that. It's not, and also not a, Grimoire power. It's actually a Kodra Shipstick, and it's really good. That's going to be a support Hag already because he knows that he's too far back in this game to provide too much of a carry route there, but still, a Kodra Shipstick, man. God damn it, that's an ultimate support item. It's great, it's awesome, especially on the Hack. It also provides extra damage. But now top lane, first hand of the taste, it's gonna be Warbeast, but Warbeast somehow managed to get out alive, and that's gonna be wasted Kodra, wasted ulti as well. Ulti will have 55-second cooldown. I think that the Kodra will have slightly shorter cooldown. So Legion team now knows that there is a Kodra Shipstick on Hellbourne team. So ORGE.ESports gonna have to play passively, safely defend until Bushwhack can take a team fight with both of them. That's gonna be really long.
Yep, and what is this? Hellbourne team, okay, so they got two major items now. They got well, not really two. They have one major item there, which is that Culture Sheepstick, but Hag still needs to get that Shrunken Head. If not, he's gonna die down really quickly. At least that initiation with that Culture Sheepstick is very good because it locks down people like, Warbeast who has that Shrunken Head, so that's another good option there for them. And they're actually gonna go ahead and train mid, which I think isn't the best choice right now. Yes, they're trying to be aggressors, but they most probably might go down here.
Oh, look at that. Bubbles, a little bit of trouble. Bubbles is going to be fine. I think he is going to be okay. There is a increased option to just nicely jump on his Bubbles, but Bubbles has got take cover and he should be okay in general. There's also positivity on Bubbles, so nothing too much to worry about. In general now, Hellbourne team gonna do a little bit of a push by themselves, but that's because Wingbow already completed on DQ as well as the Kodra Shipstick, so they can really take a team fight right now if they want to. Keeper is looking for Restoration Stone, but Keeper has got a Root, and that's a pretty good deal of stuff on Team Hellbourne team. Soul's Blessing is also off cooldown, so this is gonna be the perfect moment for them at all. And with that said, Bushwhack now gonna try harass on Soul Stealer. Soul still takes a bit of a beating, but there is still the Bubbles Cafe to worry about. There goes the Bubbles there. Great Bad Blast knocking only on Bushwhack. And we also have Keeper a little bit of trouble there, but look at that. Great ultimate from Jerry. Not enough to say Keeper. Keeper goes down. And in general, so does the Pandemonium, and a nice wall trap there by Mr. Ghost. It will somehow serve to prove a little bit of a disruption to the entire Hellbourne team, but in general, it's not going to deal a lot of damage there as well. So there is a token that was expended, I think, on WTF, so WTF is okay. But the mid lane tier 3 is not going to have a trouble there. But look at that, top lane, Cipher is going to work and is dealing a lot of extra damage. The top lane gets completely wrecked out here. They're all gone. Nothing's left there, and it's going to be the mid lane push there by Cipher as well. And it seems like they are still continuing the the destruction here at the mid lane. In fact, giving up the kill on Mr. Ghost. It's going to be okay because that's just a support Polywalk Priest. You can have Frog Legs any day, no trouble at all. And now it seems like a Hellbourne team's going to pop back home only to realize that your computer's stolen, your password's gone, and your basically everything's gone, man. Your monitors has been pawned in the garage sale, your car's missing, and yep, that's the top lane for you. And now Kiddo's, Endkiller's gonna try and nicely run away with Metamorphosis. It's a great steal.
It really is. That was just well played there by ORGE.ESports. They took the time to bait out the entire Hellbourne team to go all the way to their base and then take a team fight that was still very difficult without the Warbeast, and that allowed Warbeast to, the entire free reign against the top lane. Took the base tower, took the Raxes. It's like kind of insane. Like, they couldn't do anything after that, and now there's a Culture Sheepstick that is up on Bubbles right there. And Warbeast, man, I think he's looking towards getting that demonic breastplate sometime soon now.
Yep, they definitely want to do that. That's it, about 26 minutes up, 14 is to 10 here. 8k goal lead for Team Legion. And looking at that, they are just having such an awesome time here. And ORGE.ESports is really in the lead so far. Whereas for Hellbourne team, yeah, they had the lead, but they screwed it up by a force push, knowing that there is still the token up on WTF. And that's not a good news for them at all. That's a top lane now gets pushed in, and MR is just desperate right now. They are just like, wow, we better make it work into something right now, but they are also not going to defend the top lane, so the Crypt's going to have automatic pusher, and that's going to translate to even more damage to the base. And That's not good news for them. And look at that, WTF now going to push by himself. It seems like they're going to trade the carry there. So one moment it's the War Beast, the next is the Bushwhack that's whacking a bush. You don't want to take a team fight right now. But he's going to pop back home. So we are going to see a full-fledged 5v5 kind of situation at this Legion tier 3 in the mid lane here. The slow knocking onto that Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer takes a bit of a beating, but they're going to call for a pause in the most untimely fashion possible. And there we go, they're going to jump into a pause.
Wow. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I think Pandemonium's using the cannonball right now. It's probably gonna hit on MOA or Jeremiah. Soul Stealer's gonna get bursted down really quickly because War Beast has that Nullfire Blade. Screwed up the shield on what do you call this on Soul Stealer? Okay, here we go. Hack by all means, he should definitely hex out War Beast right now. Or
oh, he's gonna jump on it, and it's gonna hit both of them as well. Look at that. Now Soul Stealer takes too much of a beating. Soul Stealer is gonna be fun because Jeremiah ultimate, and there goes the Soul Burst! It's just gonna kill every single one of them, but only WTF stand because he has got a shrunken it, and that's gonna save him a bit. But by himself, can he win a train? I don't think so. He goes down. That's pretty good news for Team Hellbound. They were waiting for that. They were paused like, brief guys, we got this, and they got it. The Soul Burst, the Bad Blast, every single thing worked out well. Look at that Soul Stealer with all the anger to it, just managed a big fart that wiped out the entire town.
That was clutch Jeremiah in my opinion. That ulti and then the heal and everything after that, that was insane. That caused them to win. And they're kind of overextending now because Bubbles has cooler sheep synced up. If they, oh, here we go.
Bushwhack bought back. Bushwhack is still in this game. Bushwhack wants a little bit more, but Mr. Ghost goes down. That's the Polywar Priest. Not very important, but still better than nothing at all. He does have a buyback. He uses it. He comes back alive to the mid lane here. Wants to pot in, doesn't want to do that. A little bit questionable as to what he really wants to achieve. Kiddo's behind, distracting the hack, and Kiddo is just pulling away the creeps. I think that's a pretty good work being done by Kiddo, but there's nothing to really do there. That being said, Keeper is going to be addressed by Kiddo. So pretty good gameplay there by Kiddo. They managed to kill one. They want to kill more, and it seems like Soul Stealer will have a slight moment of victory there, but because he doesn't have much of a stuff, he will be going down. But at least he managed to pick off Shrey, and that's the Pandemonium. So in general, a bit of a good news for Hellbound team is that they managed to do that as well. And we have Kiddo picking up the kill on Shidwana X. That I think is the Wretched X. So, well, they can all buy back, but there is no real need to do that. Yes, top lane gets pushed in, but they got the melee back to the mid lane, so that is going to translate to a somewhat pressured mid lane for Team Hellbound. And the bad news is that they lost everything at the top part of their base, and in fact, gonna have the half of the defense for the Sacrificial Shrine destroyed there, and that's denied. So they lost one bodyguard, they're left with one, and that's not gonna be good news at all. Meanwhile, Legion team going for Kongor.
Yeah, they're gonna get Congo really quickly. Look at that, how fast it destroyed that. That's gonna be a token up on Bushwhack. That means to push and they're gonna win this game right now.
Yep, for sure, and that's it. They're gonna nicely try to hammer on the Hellbound team right there. A great Kelvin being used, and it seems like Hack's gonna be okay, but the Nullfire Blade's gonna deal a lot of damage, and down goes the Hack. That's gonna be it. Soul Stealer, no Soul Burst. He's not gonna use it just yet. There goes the nice crucial shift take. I think it's gonna stay alive for a short while longer. There is a invisible Warhound that is just nicely biting on him as well. That's the War Beast plus the Hellhound. That's why it's called Warhound. But Legion team's actually gonna pull back right now, and Hellbound team, they know that DQ is still alive, and DQ has got Soul Burst. Hack is still alive, and there is only no route that they have to wait for 90 seconds plus, but they don't have to wait for the route to put forth a great team fight. They can always do it there. What's missing is the goddamn portal key on Soul Stealer. He doesn't have that, that's why he couldn't initiate. And I think he's playing it very defensively, so somewhat it's keeping him alive, which is one of the main reasons, because if he had portal key, he would jump in and commit suicide. So it's somewhat, if you tread on that thought, it's not that bad an item to pick up, really.
Yeah, Wretched Hag, because of the whole entire exchange over there, he was forced to buy back twice, I think, and now he has no more buybacks, so that's a huge problem now. That is sticking. It's like a thorn sticking the ass of Hellburn right now, because that means if they kill Hag, there is no more extra lockdown from the Culture Sheep Stick. There's no Bat Blast that's gonna happen. They're gonna lose the team fight, hands down, because they lose out on one member that's pretty much one of the stronger members on their team right now. Jeremiah, unfortunately, still isn't level 16, so you know that's not the level 3 ultimate, and that's such a good ultimate over there coming up from Jeremiah. And I think that Soul Stealer, it's gonna take a long time for him to actually pick up on that Savage Mace, and I'm not sure if he even wants to pick it up at this point on instead of rather saving for buybacks.
Yep, and that's pretty good news so far. And looking at that, don't forget that Hellbound team, they are looking to have the extra protection coming in from Jeremiah. So Jeremiah provides the extra help needed to, you know, tank up most of this damage from Legion side. But still, I'm looking at WTF going for Savage Mace already, and that's gonna completely burn down the wing bow that Riku has. So not really sure why he opted for the item straight up. It's not gonna work right now. and they better make it work before the Savage Mace comes out. If not, this game is going to be really spiraling against them in their favor. But that's it. Warby is now going to be biting on the tier 3 in the mid lane, and by himself, one man on a mission. He's going to win this game for Team ORGE.esports, and his job is really to just bite on there. He should have a puzzle box with him, but no, he opted for the Now Fire Blade instead. Meanwhile, the fight back at the tier 3 down south is not happening yet. They lose the tier 3 at the mid lane. They're going to pot back home. But look at that cancel, man. That is going to be $1 million cancel by Kido. Kido going to sacrifice himself for that, and Killer actually going to opt for that tier 4 tower instead of the tier 3. This is the one with the eye, and here comes also the extra pot back, and I think he doesn't care anymore because it's only going to be MOA. MOA will land a stun, maybe not even, and down goes the tier 4. This is going to be a base rush, and look at that. Orange Esports, man. Siffer biting on the Sacrificial Shrine by himself. Can he win this game for them? That's the question. Meanwhile, down south, Orange Esports still pressuring here. Voodoo Ward's used already. Hack gets locked down. So does the Cannonball, and down goes the Hack. No buyback. Hack's done. Soul Stealer gonna use the fort, but to minimal effect there, and that's also not gonna be really worth it. The Pandemonium goes down, but Soul Stealer one man, can he bring a team fight to the whole team? I don't think so. Soul Stealer gets addressed, and it's gonna be a quad kill for WTF. Soul Stealer buys back. At least they can go back home. So they die to go home and to buy a Doombringer. That's gonna be really good for MRR. But to what extent, really? If they cannot win the next team fight, this game's done.
Wow, so they're going all in, and huge props to him for buying the Doombringer right off the bat. I would like to see Satanic on top of that. I mean, Simple Bridge. But of course, there's no room for him to farm, and man, oh man, that War Beast looked like he was about to take out the throne, but of course, Master of Arms was more than enough by himself to actually kind of delay that push. And that bottom team fight, yeah, I mean, of course it was definitely in favor of Legion team, man. That was a beautiful cancel there, coming from Bubbles with the kelp field. They even win a lot of hero kills over there. The final buyback on Soul Stealer into a Doombringer. So it's all in, man. It's all in for MR right now.
Yeah, and it's a really big bet that they are betting right now. You have a Doombringer. I repeat, it's an item that gives you an insane amount of damage, and that's 250 damage, and it drops when you die. The bad news is that you cannot destroy this item. So sorry. So there will be a Doombringer floating around. It may not be on Soul Stealer after this, after he dies, but that's if he dies, and in general he doesn't have Shrunken. So I'm betting that he's gonna die pretty easily. But I'm hoping that the next guy that picks it up is gonna be Wretched Hack. But that's it. MR has a pretty good streak right now. They don't have any more tier 4s to defend the Sacrificial Shrine, which is why it's taking a bit of a beating. And this does regen very slowly, by the way. So it will have a little bit of a dent by the time the next push is going to happen. Hellbound Courier going to get sniped out by Siffer's nice Hellhound. And I'm going to give MVP this game to Siffer. He really did very well with the push, with the Hellhound scouting. He is just always on point, on schedule, pushing the top lane by himself. He wrecks out. I think MRR's greatest mistake is to let him push the top lane by himself and not able to win a team fight in the mid lane quick enough. And Orange Esports, the rest of the game for them was just deterrence, delay, slow down the push, and they did that very well.
Yep, and there is a portal key now on Master of Arms, so he's gonna have extra added initiation. But you look at WTF, he's gonna go. Oh, here comes the pot! Oh my
god, what? Polywar Priest with the post haste is going back home. Is that gonna be a pot cancel? I don't think so, but yes, it's gonna be cancelled. Both of them. Look at Kato, he has got haste. This is the flying bubbles. This is Kato's. This is Orange Esports. They want to win this so well. They cancel the pot, and that's $1 million cancellation. No, it's not. But that being said, that's great. They win this game. Orange Esports, man, cheesing it out. Great cheese gameplay. Really impressed, and they will be a winner for game number 3. This whole series is still not done because it's a best of 5. So now Orange Esports has got a point up, 2 versus 1. MR 1 point, Orange Esports 2, and we are going to a game 4 real soon. Lark, any last minute comments about that?
That was well played by Orange Esports. Kido on the ball with those cancels. The last one over there, that was such a huge mistake by MMR. What the hell were they thinking? Just, straight away porting in front of the faces. Yeah, Doombringer, not gonna help you this time, bro.
Yep, Doombringer, what's the good news? The name of the game is to knock off the shrine, it's not a kill. And they killed 9, 4, and 5, but they still lost. That's gonna be the case. That's a WTF 10, 1, and 7, and that's pretty good stuff. But still, my MVP is the player with 0, 4, and 3. And Killer, man, Siffer, he did really well. They're gonna give him the props there. Even towards the end, he was there. And Mr. Ghost with the cheesy post haste. That's all he needs, man. Post haste. Don't even need the refresher. Don't even need as in restoration stone. Doesn't even need stuff of the master. All he needs is a boots that can fly. And he won a game for them as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, orange.esports, great game. We're going to be back with Game 4 real soon, so do stay tuned. And that being said, this is Babael, joining me is Lark, and we'll see you guys in a short moment. So stay tuned, and see you guys